everybody today? Thank you for visiting Sutter's Fort. Before we get started on our cannon demonstration, we are going to learn about the Bear Flag Revolt. Who here has heard of the Bear Flag Revolt before? Pioneers, you should all have your hands up right now. This was an event that happened in 1846. Historians have called 1846 the year of decision. War had already broken out between the United States and Mexico over Texas, and there was a growing American population here in Mexican California that had started to be an issue. And so actually on April 16th, 1846, Jose Castro, the general of the Mexican army, issued a proclamation to remove any undocumented Americans from Mexican California by the end of the year if they did not produce citizenship papers. So this sparked a fear in the eyes of all the Americans that were living here at Sutter's Fort and the surrounding area. A lot of their family members were on the mass migration of 1846, traveling overland. About 3,000 individuals were on the overland trail to California that year. But there was also another man here causing a lot of issues. We're going to talk to this individual first. What's your name, sir?
John C. Fremont.
Real loud, real loud.
John C. Fremont.
John C. Fremont. And this individual, what's your name, sir?
Kit Carson.
Kit Carson. These two men here were in California at various times in the 1840s. Mr. Fremont, what were you doing here in California in the 1840s?
Making maps for the American Army.
He was making maps for the American Army of all the rivers and streams and ranchos of the area. But what were you really doing here in California in 1846?
I was a spy.
He was a spy. He was sent here by President Polk to find a peaceful way of gaining California for the Union. So this really started to cause a lot of fervor here in at Sutter's Fort in the surrounding area. And it got to the point that 30 Americans from Sutter's Fort and the surrounding area marched to Sonoma, captured General Vallejo's barracks. They had to wake up the 11 soldiers that were garrisoned there and proclaim California an independent nation. And we're going to talk to our individuals here at the Bear Flag Revolt. What's your name, sir?
My name is William Todd.
William Todd. What was your role during the Bear Flag Revolt?
I sewed the bear flag.
He sewed the bear flag, and I have the flag here. This is the precursor to our state flag today. Mr. Todd put on there a red star to represent the lone republic, just like Texas. And he put on there a ferocious grizzly bear. But pioneers, what did all the Californians think that bear looked like?
A pig!
A pig, that's exactly right. But he wrote on there, California Republic, that this was to be the symbol of their independent nation. And there's a story about the red stripe on the flag, and we're going to talk to our next pioneer here. What's your name, miss?
Elizabeth Patton Elliott.
Elizabeth Patton Elliott. Now, where did they get the fabric for that red stripe?
From my petticoat.
From her petticoat. She sacrificed her petticoat for the Republic.
What's a petticoat?
We're going to talk to the last pioneer here. What's your name, sir? John Bidwell. Now, Mr. Bidwell, you weren't there on June 14th, 1846 when they captured the barracks, but you were there 2 days later. Now, how long did this Bear Flag Republic even last?
4 days. 3 weeks.
3 weeks. 3 weeks. From June 14th, 1846 to July 7th, 1846. That is the time of the Bear Flag Republic, and that's because on July 7th, the United States Army and Navy sailed into Monterey, raised the United States flag over the Presidio, and that began the Mexican-American War here in California. And that's the story of the Bear Flag Revolt. Let's give our presenters a round of applause. Now we're going to get started on our cannon demonstration, but I have some very important rules. I don't want to see anybody touching the rope. So everybody take a step back from the rope. I don't want anybody even tempted by it. If that rope comes down at any point during the demonstration, we have to stop it. But we're going to show all aspects of the cannon firing today. And the cannon that we're going to be firing is the cannon right behind me. This is a replica of Sutter's favorite cannon. He acquired the original cannon when he purchased Fort Ross from the Russians in 1841. And this cannon was used during all the major battles of the Mexican-American War here in California. And it was fired often here at the fort, but it was never fired in anger. This cannon was always fired as a salute to visiting dignitaries. And our visiting dignitaries today are our pioneers from Roseville Community School. Let's give them a round of applause. Yeah. They are representing life here at Sutter's Fort, the material culture, and the jobs that were here. It will show all aspects of the firing the cannon, and this cannon can take a 4-pound cannonball, hurl it through the air as much as a mile. Do you think we should do that today? Yeah! State Capitol's about a mile from here. But my boss works there, so I don't think that's a good idea. Also, without its cannon's position, it actually blasts a hole right through that bastion over there, and I don't think you guys want to stick around and help rebuild this place. But we are using real black powder. Mr. Barry, will you show our folks here our black powder charge? Now our charge is wrapped in aluminum foil. Did they have aluminum foil in the 1840s? No, they would have been using a material like linen, like my shirt. But Captain Sutter here, he doesn't like it when burning linen comes flying out of that cannon. Just might set fire to that wood shingle roof over there. But we are using real black powder. Now let me introduce our cannon crew for you today. Working at the muzzle of the cannon, we have here Blacksmith Biscuits. Let's give him a round of applause. Working pick and prime at the breech, we have Lucinda. Doing worm, we have Cooper Ken. As powder monkey, we have Mr. Barry. Doing touch off, we have Grizzly Bill. And I'm Pack Mule, and I'm gun captain. Gunners, post!
Oh, God.
That tells everybody to get to their spots. Now we're gonna treat this cannon as if it had just been fired. So my next command will be, worm the bore. Ken will take a corkscrew-like device. He will put it down the barrel of the gun, twist it, and he will use that to remove any excess debris that might be still in the cannon barrel. But now we have a very hot cannon barrel that might have burning embers still in it. And we don't want to put gunpowder down a barrel in that condition. It's unsafe. So my next command will be wet swab. The wet swab is like a giant Q-tip. Ken will dunk it in a bucket of water, and he will use that to extinguish any embers that might be still in the barrel. But now we have a wet cannon barrel, and we don't want to put gunpowder down a wet barrel, then it won't go off. So my next command will be dry swab. My next command will be present cartridge. Mr. Barry will walk to the front of the cannon. He will present the charge of gunpowder to Ken, who will then present the charge at the muzzle of the cannon to Biscuits, who will then ram the charge to the back of the barrel.
Move your head.
present shot. This is when we would load a cannonball, but we are not doing so today. So disappointed. The next command will be pick, and Prime Lucinda will take a brass pick. Brass, so it won't spark like iron or steel will. She will put it down the vent hole. She will puncture the charge at the back of the barrel, and then she will take a fine-grained gunpowder and pour it down the vent. And this will create a fuse to connect the gunpowder at the back of the barrel with our linstock. Bill over there, he is holding our linstock. At the end of the linstock is a piece of slow match, which is a rope soaked in potassium nitrate, and he will be using that to stand a safe distance away while firing the cannon. So, this cannon is now ready to fire. But we have some people in the fort right now, and we might have some people outside the fort eating lunch or having a siesta that don't know that this cannon's about to go off, and we need to warn them. So I need your help. On the count of 3, I need you all to yell, "Fire in the hole." Then I want you to take your hands and cup them over your ears, because this could be pretty loud. Don't stick your fingers in your ears. Cup your hands over your ears like this. And if you have any little ones with you, please sacrifice your ears for theirs. Are we ready?
Yes!
1, 2, 3. And crew, prepare to fire.
Oh, God. No! Daddy, cover your ears.
Clear.
I'm going to cover my ears so
Cover
much.
your ears. Fire when ready, Bill.
March!